Standard analytical language suffers from a predictable drift. Words begin as functional tools, but over time, they tend to calcify. A heuristic created to handle a highly specific local problem slowly solidifies into an absolute, undeniable essence. The language philosopher Bry Willis diagnoses this exact breakdown in cognitive mapping as semantic mischief. The danger is how quietly the process occurs. A descriptive noun slips from ordinary use into absolute authority, functioning as a conceptual idol before the reader even notices the incense. Any rigorous engagement with philosophy or complex systems requires a method to flag this slide. The reader needs a reliable mechanism to detect exactly when a word stops being a tool and starts being a trap. Willis anchors his solution in what he calls the language insufficiency hypothesis. The central premise is that simply adding more words does not increase linguistic effectiveness as conceptual complexity rises. You could write a paragraph of philosophical disclaimers every time you use a contaminated term, but that approach destroys the prose. Willis proposes an elegant, structurally compact alternative, an orthographic immune system. He deploys typography, specifically capitalization and the superscript trademark glyph, as precision warning labels, inserting them directly into the middle of a sentence. These typographic choices are not private aesthetic flourishes. They are strict epistemological operators designed to actively quarantine semantic drift on the page. The first operator is capitalization. Willis uses it strictly to isolate and flag unearned metaphysical inflation. Consider the baseline condition of a word. Lowercase truth operates safely within a specific local language game. It asks highly bounded questions, like whether a document was signed or whether the kettle has boiled. Capital T truth is another creature entirely. It abandons utility to gesture toward a platonic absolute. This uppercase promotion attempts a massive claim, reality seen entirely without history, language, or mediation. The exact same framework isolates meaning. Lowercase meaning is a simple request for definition. Capital M meaning asserts a cosmic destination or built-in purpose. When authors like Viktor Frankl document the search for meaning, they operate heavily in this capital M metaphysical register. Applying the capital letter forces the reader to pause. It signals that the word has abandoned ordinary grammar to make a heavy, unearned ontological claim. The second operator is the trademark glyph, deployed as a structural marker of ironic or skeptical distance. It allows a writer to borrow the communicative utility of a term while strictly quarantining its accompanying psychological or institutional baggage. Willis cites a primary psychological example, referring to himself in text as an introvert. The root word introvert retains its utility. It accurately points to someone disposed toward inwardness, reflective attention, and lower social appetite. Willis rejects the psychobaggage. The glyph refuses the word as a stable essence. This quarantine is necessary in systems architecture. Consider agile TEM. The TEM flags the irony. An approach born to resist chlorosis has become a rigid corporate catechism. The symbol acts as miniature satire. It serves as a warning label. A branded heuristic is warning around in public, pretending to be a concept. These typographic tools are strictly required because of Willis's underlying ontology. He flatly rejects objects and subjects as metaphysical primitives. Instead, he treats them as scale-dependent heuristic handles. Reality is an ongoing encounter. Things only exist as stabilized patterns, exactly where these conceptual streams cross. Lowercase meaning is positional in exactly this sense. It is processed at these intersections, indexed to a standpoint, but originating nothing itself. If you remove the tension driving the wave, the pattern vanishes entirely. There is no residue and no inherent substance left behind. This creates the writer's dilemma. We must document a fluid, relational reality using inherently rigid language. And since silence is not a viable option, we have to write. The typographic toolkit bridges this gap. It allows us to use reified language to discuss non-reified realities without committing intellectual treason. Willis's formatting habits belong to a rigorous 20th century philosophical tradition. They are mechanical tools for wounded language. Martin Heidegger established the mid-century origin of this practice. He deliberately destabilized his vocabulary by crossing out the word being to visually wound the text. Jacques Derrida evolved this into the concept of sous-rature, or under-erasure. By writing a word and immediately crossing it out, Derrida signaled that a term was both conceptually necessary and hopelessly inadequate. This anxiety over the limits of vocabulary traces back even further to Ludwig Wittgenstein's warnings about the danger of mistaking grammar for ontology. Willis's system is simply a modern, mechanically precise evolution of this century-long struggle against contaminated vocabulary. For the modern writer, philosopher, or system architect, this theory translates into immediate practical application. When you deploy this orthographic immune system within a complex sentence, the text self-regulates in real time. This visual color coding alerts the reader instantly to exactly where the language is stable, where it is inflated, and where it is behaving like a branded product. One could argue that this level of orthographic precision is fussy. The alternative, however, is much worse. The alternative is letting unchecked words slide directly into metaphysical authority without ever announcing their migration. A highly useful noun is not a discovered metaphysical structure. Applying this typographic hygiene is our most compact defense against worshipping semantic idols.